Rob, we're going to start very simply. Please tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Rob Penn, and I am a journalist, an author. I do a bit of TV presenting, and I'm a cyclist.
Now, Rob, you just returned from a very big adventure. Tell us what it was.
So I went to the Amazon and rode a section of what is called the Trans-Amazonian Highway, which is a road that was built by the Brazilian military dictatorship in the early 1970s. And it was devised as a grandiose economic project. And they built the road, and the idea was to repopulate that part of the southern Amazon basin with 100,000 families. That was an ambitious target. And to create economic vitality in that part of Brazil. And the project failed pretty much from the outset. I mean, as fast as they could build the road, the jungle grew back for quite a long period of time, and it sucked up a huge amount of resources. And I think it was a failure by every measure, and it has very slowly become a metaphor for everything that's gone wrong in the Amazon in the last 40 years.
And tell me, why did you choose the Amazon to focus on for this?
So the Amazon is being cut down at an alarming rate, and if you remember when we were kids, it was quite high profile what was happening in the Amazon. Sting brought Amazonian tribesmen, and they were interviewed on primetime TV in Britain, and it raised itself to. I mean, it was kind of, you could say it was a front line of climate change consciousness at that time, and slowly but surely it's drifted, and now it is very rarely written about or considered in international conversation and in the international media, and I think that's a huge concern. So if you look at the forestry globally, tropical forestry globally, we've cut down almost everything there is, and really the large concentrations of tropical trees, there are two left: the Congo Basin and the Amazon Basin. And the Amazon, 20% of it were already cut down. The old headline figure, it's 3 football pitches a minute. So that's 25 football pitches in the time we've been having a conversation now. And that's staggering, and it's just dropped away from international consciousness. So we wanted to make a programme about it to try and put it back on the agenda again.
So how did you begin to how did you try to raise the profile of this problem?
Well, so the inception of the television programme is, like all TV, sort of pretty odd, and a production company who I've worked with before, who've made a lot of environmental films, we had conversations about this road and how it is a metaphor for everything that's gone wrong in the Amazon over the last 40 years. And we dreamt up the idea of my cycling down it, and we approached Sky and said, is this an idea for you? Because they run a rainforest project, and they are, who knew, Britain's only carbon neutral broadcaster, weirdly. And they don't make a huge noise about that, but they are. So we thought it might be the right place for it. So we took it to them, and they said, look, we love the idea, but no one's heard of Rob Penn. He has to take a celebrity. And they said, would we take Freddie Flintoff? so we said yes.
And how did he do?
Well, it was interesting. I mean, he's a big, strong lad, so he didn't struggle with cycling at all. It's extremely uncomfortable. I mean, you camp in the jungle most nights. Temperature's 35 to 40 degrees centigrade most days. Humidity runs at like 90-95%. It never, of course, you never stop sweating, even when you're fast asleep in the middle of the night. It sort of runs down your face. And like I say, there's nothing on this road, or very, very little. Towns are very few and far between. So we camped in the jungle most of the time, and he pretty much got his head around that. But then, perhaps more interesting was, how you were going to engage him with the subject matter. So he's not really interested in the Amazon, and he certainly wasn't at the beginning. And I guess it was my task to get him engaged with it. And the way we set about doing that was he likes people. He's a curious mix. So he's not educated, but he's bright. He left school at 16. He'd been playing professional cricket most of his adult life. So there's been very little time for education, but he's bright, and so he gets people to like him very quickly. There's a sort of bit of a magic about him in that respect. And so what we thought we'd do is engagement in people. So what we did was, we'd cycle a bit and then we'd stop and we'd look at something which was a major cause of deforestation. So we went and spent, a couple of days at a gold mine, and we went and spent a couple of days at a ranch. So the major cause of deforestation in the Amazon at the moment is cattle ranching, rearing beef. And we went and looked at logging, both illegal and legal logging operations. And we went and met people from the Brazilian Environment Agency. And then the one town we came to, Apui, we went to, there was a big gathering there. It was the sort of annual Cayley, and it was a rodeo, so we went to the rodeo. So everywhere there were people, we stopped and met them, and I think in a way it worked. I think by the time we left, he was concerned about the Amazon and interested.